with my friends at Fishman. Today's episode is pre-recorded, but don't worry, we're still gonna have a ton of fun today. We're gonna be learning Creep by Stone Temple Pilots, a great song out of the 90s, great chords, really great riffs that are in here too. So we've got a lot of fun with this one today. So have your acoustic guitar in standard tuning. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It absolutely helps the cause. And if you want to check out all the cool Fishman gear I use in these lessons, I left a link in the video description below. So you can check out all that good stuff. So those of you who tuned in to the riff rundown before, you know I like to ask a question before we get started. So let me know where you're tuning in from and one of your favorite songs out of the 90s. I know this is one of my favorite songs from the 90s, so that's what I want to know. That's the question of the day. So get your guitar tuned up and ready to go and ready to play. And here it is, Creep by Stone Temple Pilots. So there it is. Let's go ahead and get started. So let's look at the top. The intro and the verses are similar because they have the same chords, but we're going to change the order with those two parts. So the intro, I will play it slowly. The only chords we are dealing with in the intro are going to be C, B7, and E minor 7. So that's it. Okay, so it's those three chords. So the intro sounds like this. I'll play it a little bit slower than I did at the top. So here's the intro. Chords we're dealing with. So C, B7, E minor 7. If you don't know how to play it, let me show you. So for the C chord, we're going to need these first three fingers. Again, I like to throw in a little theory in these riff rundowns. C, E, and G are going to be our target centers, our tonal centers for this C chord, C, E, and G, the 1, 3, 5, right? The three parts, three notes that build up this chord. So our first finger, we're going to go ahead and place that on the first fret of the B string. That's your C. Okay, second finger, second fret of the D string, as your E note, as your third. Then you're going to get your third finger here, reaching over, okay, getting as close to the fret as you can without touching it, all right? So third fret, third finger, third fret of the A string, okay? So that's another C. Now, you might be wondering, where's the G note? It's the open G string that we're playing, okay? So strum from the A string downward. There's your C chord, pretty simple, okay? So we've got strumming there. Now to go to our B7. So our B7, we're going to use the full chord here, okay? All four fingers. Let me show you how to play it here. So we're going to start with our first finger, first fret of the D string. We're going to call this note D sharp, okay? Second finger, second fret of the A string. That's our B note. That's our root. You're going to get your third finger here, third fret, or I'm sorry, second fret of the G string, that is an A note. Second fret of the A string with our third finger. Second fret of the G string, which is an A note. There we go. Okay, then you're going to get your pinky finger here, placing that on the second fret of the E string, which is an F sharp. So for those of us keeping track here, what are the four notes that we have in this B7 chord? It's going to be a B, which is our 1, D sharp, our 3, F sharp, our 5, and A, which is our flat 7. Strum from the A string downward, that's how that chord should sound. I'll play that again. And that F sharp, totally necessary. Do not skip that note when you're playing this chord in this song. Okay, so from there we're going to go to an E minor 7. My brain, I like to think of this as like a cousin chord of the full like G major chord. Got some similar notes in it too. All right, so let me show you how to play this. Again, we're going to be using all 4 fingers for this chord. First finger, 2nd fret of the A string. That's our B note. We see it again. All right. 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the D string. That's our E note. 3rd finger, 3rd fret of the B string. That's a D note. And then our 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string, which is G. So those of us keeping track here, E minor 7, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7 in terms of notes, E, G, B, and D. Strum everything. So there it is. So let's go ahead and put all these chords together. Let's give a couple extra measures to that E minor 7 at the end. All right. So here we go. Nice and slowly. Let's take our time. Repeat, C, B7, E minor 7. Okay, so it's going to be different. That was our first pass of the intro. Our second pass, we're going to play C, B7, and with the E minor 7, we're going to strum it and we're going to let it ring. Okay, so that will sound like this. So let's go ahead and play the full intro, and then we'll look at the verse. Again, the verse, similar chords, okay? Just different order. So here we go. Intro. C, B7, E minor 7. C, B7, that's what's happening there. We let that ring. Now we enter into the verse. So guess what? We start with an E minor 7 in the verse. The verse sounds like this. I'll play through it slowly. It's just those 3 chords in that order. We're starting with the E minor 7. We're going back to that C chord, then the B7. This is going to be repeated 4 times, all right? And after that, after we play that B7, right, on that 4th time, we're going to play the E minor 7 for a little bit, a couple measures, okay? Just strum it out nice and light. As far as the strumming goes for this song, I say this quite a bit in these lessons. I want you to let the pick do the work for you here. All right, what do I mean by that? I don't want you to be really, really aggressive and feel like you need to give a lot of power so that you can be loud. It's actually not true. You don't need to be super forceful. This tiny piece of plastic or whatever else picks are made of can carry a lot of really good power in themselves. So leading them properly. Also too, what I find is really helpful when I'm strumming is to not make up the fist and be really tight. Be relaxed when you're holding a pick. I find it helps a lot. You want to be relaxed, but not relaxed enough where the pick is going to fly out of your hands, because we've all been there. And when they get stuck inside the guitar, the black hole of where picks go to die, sometimes that can be really annoying. So find a good balance of relaxed, but keeping a hold of the pick. It's always a good thing. It happens to the best of us. It happens to me all the time. So don't worry about it. So that's what's happening there in the verse. Again, E minor 7, C to B7. All right. So that's Great. Now, going into the pre-chorus, it's going to sound like this. Again, pretty simple chords here. We're going to start off with a G chord, okay? We're going to use the full version here with all 4 fingers. First finger, 2nd fret of the A string, B. 2nd finger, 3rd fret of the E string, G. Okay? 3rd finger, 3rd fret of the B string, that's our D note. And then our 4th finger, 3rd fret of the high E string, which is G. Go ahead and strum every string. Okay, just like that. Now, our next chord is going to be an A sus2. One of my favorite chords ever. I love this chord. Let me show you how to play it. Okay, 2nd and 3rd finger. Our 2nd finger, go ahead and place that on the 2nd fret of the D string. That is an E note. You're going to get your 3rd finger placing that on the 2nd fret of the G string, which is A. You are going to strum from the A string downward. Just a beautiful open chord. I love this chord. Okay, so what's making it a sus2 is that open B string, that B note. So we're replacing the C sharp, that is usually an A major, okay, and we're making it a sus2 by replacing the C sharp with a B. So that's what's happening there, okay? And then we go back to our trusty E minor 7. Okay? And this section of G to A sus2 to E minor 7 is going to be repeated 2 times, all right? So the pre-chorus is going to sound like this, and I'll kind of throw in some vocals so you just get a gist of where it is contextually, all right? So take time with me, 'cause it likes to heal. So that's the part, that pre-chorus is that part of the song. Here are the chords, I'll call them out. Commentary, G, A sus2, E minor 7. Let's do that again. When it comes to that A sus2, I like to play it starting with that upstroke. When I listen back to the song, it sounds like they're doing the same thing, and it's so beautiful when it's played from that high E upward. It's just gorgeous. So I encourage you to do that if it feels good. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. We've got the intro under control. Let's go ahead and do a verse and a pre-chorus. And again, if you're enjoying these lessons, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It absolutely helps the cause. All right. So for the final part of this pre-chorus, we're going to do here is we're going to go from G to A sus2 to C, okay, and then up to D major. And we're going to play D major just the way we learned when we all first started learning how to play guitar. Okay, so D, F sharp, and A, those are our target centers, 1, 3, 5. Okay, first 3 fingers. First finger, 2nd fret of the G string, A. 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the E string, F sharp. 3rd finger, 3rd fret of the B string, D. Strum from the D string downward. So let's go ahead and do the whole pre-chorus first, and then we'll put in a verse for context, all right? So here we go. G. A sus2, E minor 7. Repeat. Let's do that one more time. our pre-chorus. Let's go ahead and do a verse. E minor 7, couple measures here. To our pre-chorus. So from there, we're going to go into our chorus. I'm going to play this just a little bit slower because this is going to be a series of little riffs, okay? So the chorus sounds like this. It's awesome. It's really great. So I'm going to break this up into a couple sections here, so let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do here for the first section, it's going to be the open E string, 2nd fret of the A string, that B note, and then to the D note, so E, B, and D. Okay, not too bad. Okay, so the next part here, open E string to the F sharp, 2nd fret, and then open A string, open D string. Okay, so just like that. So let's go ahead and do parts 1 and part 2. Again. And one more time. The next part is going to go like this. So while that's happening there, F sharp, walk up to G, 3rd fret of the E string, open A string, open D string. So again, part 1, part 2, part 3. One more time. Next part here goes like this. So what's happening there? G note, 3rd fret of low E string, open A string, 2nd fret B, open D string, 2nd fret E. So that sounds like this. Let's do all 4 parts, shall we? Here we go. And don't forget to alternate pick. Here we go, one more time. Now, as we go into the second half of this chorus, parts 1 and part 2 are going to be exactly the same. It's these next 2 parts that are slightly different, okay? So this is the next part. We're including that B note in there. That's a little bit of a change there. So we're going from F sharp to G, B to the open D string. So that sounds like this. So here are the first 3 parts of the second half. Let's do that again. And the final part of this chorus riff is going to be this. So what we're we're doing there. So we're doing a really cool walk up. Starting at G, 3rd fret of the E string, open A string, okay, to that A sharp, to B, 1st fret, 2nd fret, A string. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the second half. One more time. Now, let's go ahead and combine it with part 1 of the chorus. Here we go. Part 2. And one more time. Let's do it a little bit faster. Part 2. After this part of the chorus, we go back to that trusty E minor 7. Now, I'm going to throw something in that the guitar does not do. However, it's a bass line that is probably my favorite part of the song. And when I was making the chart for this, I said I have to throw this in. So this is an optional thing. I just love the bass line. So I made it to where you could play it on guitar. It sounds like this. And this is being played over that E minor 7 as we're going into verse 2. So it sounds like this. And then right into the verse. So let me show you how to play it. Again, optional. This is a bass line, but it's killer. So you're going to get your 2nd finger, 7th fret of the A string, E. Then you're going to go to that D sharp, okay, 6th fret of the A string. And then you're going to play the B note, 7th fret of the E string. And if you wanted a palm mute, even better. Kind of neat, either way. Now we're going to do the same figure back a whole step, meaning now we're going to go to D, 5th fret of the A string, to C sharp, 4th fret, to A, 5th fret of the low E. So it'll sound like this. Okay, let's do that again. And then we're going to go from C to B, low E string, right into that E minor 7. So let's do that a couple times slowly here, and then we'll pick up speed. Okay, let's do that one more time. Let's do this with the chorus. That might be kind of fun. And again, if you're enjoying these lessons, subscribe to the channel, folks. It helps the cause. All right, here we go. Chorus. E minor 7. Bass riff. It's so cool. I had to throw it in. I thought it sounded great. So let's go ahead and do this here. Let's go verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and then bass riff into verse 2. All right, so here we go. Verse. And I'll abridge it. We'll only do this twice. Extra measure, E minor 7 pre chord. Riff. You can do it. Verse 2. Cool stuff, right? So that's what's happening there. We go into verse 2, we do another pre-chorus, we go to another chorus, and then we have like this bridgy part with an amazing chord that I'm going to be using a lot from now on. It's great. It looks a little crazy, but it's actually not too bad. So we're going to be playing an E minor 9. So it's this bridge section of the song where it kind of does something like this. It's very loose, very open, but it's a beautiful chord. So let me show you how to play this. First finger, third finger, and our fourth finger. First finger, second finger, fourth finger. That's how we're gonna do it. First finger, place that on the second fret of the A string, that's our B note. You're gonna get your fourth finger placing that on the F sharp, okay? Fourth fret of the D string. And then you're gonna get your second finger placing that on the D note, third fret of the B string. Now, strum everything, all 6 strings. Isn't that a beautifully voiced chord? Gotta love Stone Temple Pilots, man. Those guys come up with some great stuff. This is just such a beautiful chord. So when you're playing this bridge part, be nice and open. Let the chord ring. Again, nice and light with a pick. Listen. We want to build dynamics here. Once we go into that pre-chorus after this, it's going to sound nice and big. So let's just kind of hang on this chord a little bit. And if your hand's hurting by this point, I know it's a bit of a stretch, just give your hand a rest and come back to it. So now it's going to a pre-chorus, G chord. Such a great song with, again, some cool riffs. I wanted to throw in that bass line riff just as something just kind of optional to do. So as always, wishing you guys so much success on your musical journey. I hope this was a really fun one for you to learn. This was a really fun one for me to teach. Also, I want to mention this. Today is December 9th, 2023. If you happen to be in LA, I am doing my vinyl release show at the Mint in Los Angeles. Tickets are available. It's going to be a lot of fun. We go on at 9 p.m. tonight, so those of you in LA, be sure to say hello. I'll be selling vinyl and all of that good stuff, and would absolutely love to see you. And I want to mention this too. It's just been such an honor teaching these lessons, and I want to thank my friends at Fishman, and I want to thank all of you. It's just been such a joy, and I love this community that we've built here, and just thanks for being so wonderful. Thank you all for tuning in week after week and subscribing to the channel and all that good stuff. It's been a lot of fun. So, as always, continuing to send you much success in your musical journeys. Everybody take care of one another, and if you're in LA, I'll see you at the show tonight. All right? Take care, everybody.